All right, hey Shalom, Shalom, call Loyam Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakodash. He double honors the apostles, elders at Great Millstone. Salutations to you, Akim, pushing the work in truth and in sincerity. All right, so I found something really interesting as the apostles are speaking. All right, this was yesterday at GMS Apostle Street Ministry, 527-23. All right, I believe Apostle Tahar mentions how many nations there are in the world. And I'm not sure if he said he Googled how many nations are using CBDC, but I went ahead and did that, and I'm just typing in stuff. All right, so it's 195 countries in the world. That's what it says. And then I'm typing, and I ran into this. Okay, and this is Central Bank Digital Currency Tracker. Now this whole website is going to prove, all right, that that Esau is pretty much, I always use the term Capstonian's enterprise, but to make it simple, that RFID chip or the mark of the beast is real, and this is the frameworks for it. Okay, so this whole website, all right, so check this out. It says, what exactly is a central bank digital currency, CBDC? A CBDC is a virtual money backed and issued by a central bank. As cryptocurrencies and stable coins have become more popular, the world's central banks have realized that they need to provide an alternative or let the future of money pass them by. All right. And so what you have here is just hover over a country to see their status. And now you can actually see the country's status when concerning CBDC, all right, in real time. Okay, so you got 11 CBDC countries, or 11 countries that have launched CBDCs, all right. You got the Bahamas, Jamaica, Nigeria, all right, the Eastern Caribbean, all right. So these are countries that have CBDC in them already. All right, and then you got pilot countries that have piloted the CBDC. All right, as you can see, almost the whole of Asia, right? Almost the whole of Asia, Australia, South Africa, of course, why not, right? So Saudi Arabia, that makes sense. All right, but these people are on the path to what? The CBDC, okay? and again, is tracking. So it's 120 countries, currency unions tracked. All right, 120. So it's 195 countries in the world. But of course, we know certain countries aren't, and in fact, there's another interesting point, because it says this makes up, these countries make up 95% of the world's GDP, gross development product. So they're the one that's producing the most resources. All right. And, so Salaki, because I am under the weather still. But and Lord willing, is edifying, because it is showing you, as the elders apostles had projected, that all nations eventually, and it lines up with Revelation 13. Okay. All these nations eventually are going to bow. So the key findings: 114 countries representing over 95% of global GDP are exploring a CBDC. In May 2020, all right, only 35 countries were considering a CBDC. A new high of 60 countries are in an advanced phase of exploration, development, pilot, or launch. You see? So there you have it. So there's a the increase in number. Ultimately, according to these um, technocrats, Esau Edom, scientists, and philanthropists, um, they want the whole world to take over this. They're pushing for the whole world to have CBDC, all right, central base or central bank digital currencies. All you got to do is look into, what they're talking about at the WEF. I'm not going to go into it now. Of course, you should know this is Klaus Schwab. Klaus Schwab. I call him Klaus Schwabstica. And they let you know exactly what they want to do. They're talking about chipping people. They're talking about a central based digital currency. So why is it so important to understand about CBDC? All right, because essentially it's going to be one uniform currency for certain countries. All right. So let's read a little bit more into it. It says here 11 countries have fully launched a digital currency, and China's pilot, which reaches 260 million people, is set to expand to most of the country in 2023. Jamaica is the latest country to launch its CBDC, the Dex. Okay. All right. So check this out. It says financial sanctions on Russia have led countries to consider payment systems that avoid the dollar. That's digital currencies, baby. It says there are nine cross-border wholesale CBDC tests, okay, and 7 cross-border retail projects, nearly double the number from 2021. You see? So as time goes on, people are increasing, and you have more people delving into not just development and research, but they're launching and piloting CBDC. There's only 15 countries that's inactive. All right, and those 15 countries did not, whatever, I don't know what that means, DLT. But they're inactive. And of course, these are countries who eventually going to have to turn. So like North Korea, for instance, here, Slovakia. North Korea, for instance, we know why. All right, they want to exclude themselves from everyone else, but eventually they're gonna have to play ball. All right. So more of the key findings. It says in 2023, over 20 countries will take significant steps towards piloting a CBDC. Australia, Thailand, Brazil, India, South Korea, and Russia intend to continue or begin pilot testing in 2023. The ECB, it says, is also likely to start a pilot next year. All right. As of December 2022, all G7 economies, have now moved into the development stage of a CBDC. Why?
Connected one another as profound challenges to mankind, such as climate change, are globally interconnected and require collaborative responses. In conclusion, and despite all the challenges, we have to uphold our responsibility, which we have towards the next generation, and which we can only fulfill through collaboration on a national and on a global level. I wish you an impactful and successful.
Yeah, you told all their whole agenda is global. All right, and this is why they've been having this G7 summits, really to bring in this new, these new payment systems by way of the CBDC. So it says the New York Federal Reserve Wholesale CBDC experiment, Project Cedar, has shifted the U.S. from research into development. You see, so these countries are. We're seeing the whole world get on board, for lack of better words, with the whole agenda. All right. It says 18 of the G20 countries are now in the advanced stage of the CBDC development. Of those, 7 countries are already in pilot. Nearly every G20 country has made significant progress and invested new resources in these projects over the past 6 months. You see that, right? So everybody's gradually making their way to the CBDC, and this is important because why? All right, let's go into a little bit more. It says timeline brace for the future of money. Okay, because things about to change. They've been telling you a great reset. What do you mean by a great reset, right? You may ask. All right, and this is dealing heavily with how people interact, how people buy and sell. Okay, it's heavy. All right, so this is the progress, and people are making progress to what? The B system. This is what is the ABCs of CBDCs, right? What is CBDC? A central bank digital currency. All right. And we ultimately know the end game. All right. It says is the digital, and we'll talk about the end game, which is the RFID chip, which is the MOTB, right? It says is the digital form of a country's fiat currency. Okay. All right. It says that is also a claim on the central bank. Instead of printing money, the central bank issues electronic coins or accounts backed by the full faith and credit of the government. So the government is going to control all of that. All right. That's why I centralized central bank. The central bank is going to control who gets accounts and who gets the coins. All right. In the end game, like I was just saying, hold on, I'm gonna read this before I lose. I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna finish this out because this whole website proves what direction the world is going into. It says there are already thousands of digital currencies, commonly called cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin is the most well-known, fully decentralized cryptocurrency, and this is something they do not like: decentralization, because they can't control everything. All right, another type of cryptocurrency are stable coins whose value is pegged to an asset or a fiat currency like the dollar. Cryptocurrencies run on this cryptocurrencies run on distributed ledger technology. All right, meaning that multiple devices all over the world, not one central hub, are constantly verifying the accuracy of the transaction. Excuse me. But this is different from a central bank issuing a digital currency. So why would a government get into digital currencies? There are many reasons to explore digital currencies, and the motivation of different countries for issuing CBDCs depend on their economic situation. Some common motivations are promoting financial inclusion by providing easy and safer access to money for unbanked and underbanked populations, introducing competition. All right, so those that people that don't even have banks, CBDC is going to make it easier. Their governments is CBDC is going to make it easier to get it to everybody. All right. Oh, that's what I want to say. That's what I want to say. Slovakia. They're going to gridlock the system. And that's why it's important to understand this. They're going to lock the system. They're going to lock people out of the system. Those that don't adhere and those that don't, go along with whatever rules that they have. Okay. Gridlocking the system will consist of people not being able to access those resources from those countries who produce 95% of the world's GDP, gross development product. Okay, that's what it's leading to. That's why it's important to understand what this devil is doing. Okay, and they're showing you what they're doing openly. All right, they're showing you what they're doing openly, and this has everything to do with Revelations 13, 15 on down. All right, check this. Check this out. Okay, do your research. right here, Slovakia. AtlanticCouncil.org CBDC tracker. Okay. Check that out. Get informed. Understand what's going on through the spirit, especially with concerning these devils. Okay. All right. Because they tracking. Okay. And yeah. So eventually it's going to cause, this is what it's going to lead to, because the end game is to chip people. All right. To gridlock a system. All right. To centralize a system, centralize currency. And of course, they've been saying what they want to do. Klaus Schwab, you got Yuval Noah Harari, who have been talking about chipping people, brain chips, all this other stuff. All right. It all lines up, man, if you've been paying attention. Revelations 13:15, he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. All right. And then part of being killed is being cut off. Okay. All right. They'll cut you off from the resources. So if you don't buy into the system, if you don't follow the rules of the system, guess what? All right. And like the elder said, you don't have to physically get down on your knee and praise it. All right. Because there's more to it. All right. Okay. So it says here to kiss the hand towards one and token of reverence. So you got to reverence. Let's see. You're going to have to reverence the system. Okay. Reverence, deep respect for someone or something. All right. Acclaim. What does acclaim mean? Praise enthusiastically and publicly. Yep. So you're going to have to pledge allegiance, so to speak. Approval. All right. You're going to have to give approval. All right. Okay. Here it says revere, respect, admire, esteem, appreciate, and cherish. Okay. That don't mean you have to get out and worship it. All right. Okay. More on it. It says among, let's see. So it does say kneeling, but that in this sense, you don't have to kneel. All you got to do is give reverence to it and respect toward it. All right. All right. So it says use of homage shown to men and beings of superior rank. All right. So let's go into that word kill, because it don't just mean to put to death. It means to cut you off, so to speak. And that's why they're going to, the part of the end game is to gridlock the system. Anybody outside the system or don't take on whatever they have you take on is eventually you're going to have to consent unto taking it, RFID, which is the MOTB, to be part of the system. All right. So the Greek word is what?
Strong's G 2443. Hina. Hina.
All right. So the Greek word hina. Here, let me make sure I click the right one. Salaki. Should be killed, right? Yeah, so hina. No, hina. No, so here it is. It was below it.
Strong's G 615. Apartino. Apartino.
Apartino. All right. Which says it's here to kill in any way, whatever. All right. And to kill in any way, whatever. So take heed to that metaphor: to extinguish, abolish, to destroy, to allow to perish. To allow to perish. All right. And that's what's going to be happening. They don't allow people to perish. Those that don't take this mark or believe in the system are going to shut you out. All right. And that's why, it's important to understand the workers behind the CBDC. They're going to be able to control accounts. Like, right. The central bank issues electronic coins or accounts backed by full faith and credit of the government. And I've been watching videos, and I'm sure you brothers ran into videos. They'll be able to cut off if they don't like what you're saying. All right. It's going to be sort of like like China has the social credit system. You in your behavior, all right, you're gonna be rewarded based on your behavior. Okay, and if you're against the system of you post something on social media that's not to the liking of the powers that be, they can cut you off. They're doing it in China as we speak right now. Just look up social credit system, and they'll show you that. And Salaki, because I am kind of under the weather, and this is raw. Okay, this lesson is raw. So Salakia, Lord willing, is edifying. Okay, so let's go back. And that's why it's important to understand the chip. Okay, the mark of the beast, the MOTB. It's very important because we live in a world that's structuring and slowly but surely, gradually, bringing in these measures right here, what the precepts, the scriptures are saying. All right. So you're supposed to be able to apply it. You're supposed to be able to identify it in the world. All right. When we read the precept, it's one thing, but you're supposed to be able to identify what's being said in the scriptures in the world that you live in the current present world. Right. So to basically cut you off in any way, and they can cut you off by not giving you any coins or shutting down your account. All right, they're gonna have that type of control. That's what this is all about. This new world, NWO. All right, they're saying it, man. They're saying it. So it's up to y'all to see it. All right. It says verse 16. It says, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand and in their foreheads. It's leading to that. It's getting to this point. Okay. It's getting to this point. Okay. All right. And right here, you're seeing all of these countries I have either launched, they're piloting the CBDC, or they're in development and research. And only 15 are inactive. And that number is going to go down. The inactive is going to go down. 2, they're going to be, because they canceled it, don't mean anything. They're going to force them. Okay. But the numbers have grown in research and development. The numbers have grown in piloting the CBDC. So they're into it. And he's going to cause it all, both small and great, and rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right. That's going to be the technology, the RFID, which is going to be implanted. All right. They're talking about brain chips and all this other stuff. There's no reason why they're talking about all this stuff, because the scriptures say they would be talking about all this stuff. All right. And that no man might buy or sell, save he had that had the mark. They're going to gridlock the system. They're going to gridlock it. And the only way you're going to be part of the system is if you buy and reverence the image of the beast. If you accept its policies. Okay. Which the elders were going into. Okay. All right. So we're coming close, man. We're coming close. And this is undeniable. You can't deny it, because everything is matching up. You see the trends on how these nations are coming together, and, they're buying into this system. All right. It's a system. That's what the image of the beast is. And then they're gonna issue the mark, which will make you part of the system. Okay. It says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Ain't got nothing to do with sin. All right. Because if we're sinning now, all right, that would mean we had a mark of the beast. Okay. And don't have anything to do with an embargo. All right. Okay. It says, here's wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Take a good look at it. Take a good look at it. All right. Where my Bible at? Take a good look at it. Take a good look at it. All right. That's the barcode I'm showing you. Okay. You got to put 2 and 2 together, man. All right. Hey, with that, Lord willing, this is edifying. Until next time, I say shalom.